no time before have voters faced a clearer choice between two parties, two visions, two philosophies, or two agendas.
John Burnett is a Republican strategist, and he was at the White House ceremony where Trump accepted the Republican nomination and joins us now live from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Now, as we mentioned, you were at the convention. What was it like? What are your initial thoughts?
There's a lot of energy. I think that the president laid out his case through not just his speech, but when you look at the whole week, culminating into the last night, it was a constant theme. He included all Americans. He talked to those in urban centers, but he also reached to the rural areas. He spoke to everyone. Yes, you know, the thing is, he mentioned the pandemic and the tragedy that it has caused, but he also pointed out that we have to get people back to work. We have to take care of our schools. There was a constant theme of freedom. He talked about all the things that issues in the urban community, things that are near and dear to my heart in terms of housing, in terms of jobs, in terms of opportunity. You know, the thing is that the Democrats only want to talk about COVID-19, and I'm not trying to minimize it by any means, but it's clear that they made COVID-19 their running mate. And they talk about it 24/7. Mm-hmm. President Trump.
But don't you think that in an event as big as the one we just saw moments ago, no social distancing, very few people wearing masks, what message do you think that sends out?
Well, if they're like me, you know, they're coming from Charlotte, right? In terms of the delegates and the state chairs and others alike. We were tested twice, right? And there were many people wearing their masks. You know, the thing is, the problem with the media, you seem like a nice person, but the problem with the media and the Democrats, all you want to do is talk about masks. If you're 6 feet apart, you don't really want to talk about the economy. You don't really want to talk about jobs. You don't really want to talk about those kitchen table issues, right, that are near and dear to all Americans. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where the Democrats will lose it. People are concerned about the violent protests, their cities being burnt down.
All right, John, let's talk a bit about the economy since you brought it up. The coronavirus pandemic has obviously battered the economy in the U.S. Millions of people have lost their jobs, and Trump is known for repairing the economy in the U.S. throughout the last 4 years. How do you think he's going to come back from this?
I think he's going to do a great job. But what the thing is that the governors and the mayors, especially in the blue cities, have a concerted effort to undermine this president. Let me give you an example. In New York City, there is still no indoor dining, but Long Island, which is about 15, 20 minutes from Manhattan, I can walk into a restaurant, be seated, have a server come over, just like old times. So when you compare those two economies in the same state, different counties, they're operating completely differently.
Does he have any new ideas? Did we hear of any new ideas that Trump has presented us to repair the economy in the next 4 years?
Yeah, Democrats stop being crazy and shutting down the economy. You know, Governor Cuomo of New York and Mayor of New York City de Blasio, they brag about the numbers being brought down, but then they don't want to open up. You know, people can protest all day long, but you cannot go to the mosque, synagogue, and church to worship God. But yet, you can protest, you can go to Walmart, you can go shopping for clothing, you can do anything else except open your restaurant and worship God. That's the message of the Democrats. And that's what President Trump was hammering home. He wants to open up safely. He wants to get people back to living their lives, embracing freedom. in a positive and safe way. But many of these local leaders are working against him. Why? Because they want this issue for the election.
All right, John, you're a Republican strategist. What is Trump's main strategy to win the upcoming election?
Well, we've seen it through the speeches. I'll just start with tonight because that's where we're in the moment here. He talked about housing. He talked about opportunities. You know, one lady, I think her name is Stacy, or I forget her full name, but she gave an astounding speech tonight saying that she was out of work, had to transition into a new industry. President Trump work development programs helped her get the right training in a new industry, and she's closing on a new house at the end of the month, which is in a couple of days, right? It's situations like that that Trump wants to actually expand. So the only way we can expand that is if we open up. But the Democrats don't want to give him that opportunity. Because not only will he open up and get America back working again, driving the unemployment rate further down, where incomes are actually get back to continuing to rise, but also making inroads to the mother's milk of the Democratic Party, which is the urban vote. That scares Democrats more than anything. Mm-hmm. He is delivering. And as he said, he's done more for the Black community in 3 years than Biden has done in 47 years. No one can tell me what positive policies that benefited the Black community that Biden passed and lobbied and championed in his 47-year career. That is an indictment against his leadership.
All right, John Burnett, thank you so much for joining us on the program here on TX World.